So before we can use an object, we have to create a class, which is a pattern for that object. And you can use one class to make an infinite number of objects. So think of it as like a recipe. If you have a recipe for chocolate chip cookies, you can make as many batches of them as you want using all the same recipe. If you have a pattern for a dress, you can make 60 different dresses, all using the same pattern, and they may be different sizes, colors, things like that. Our class is our pattern for our object. And to write a class, you use the keyword class, and your class has a capital letter to indicate that it's a class. So class dice starts with a capital D. And then we have a method, which is like a function that's specific to that class, to initialize the class variables. So the double underscores mean it's private and can only be accessed by other methods from the class. External programs can't directly access these variables. They have to use our methods to get to them. So when we're initializing it, we could pass things into that. We'll get to it later, but I'm going to say that we're working with a dice class. And we'll keep working with this with the thought that it could go to be D&D dice, so you could tell the class how many sides are there. Is it a 4-sided dice? Is it a 6-sided? Is it a 20-sided? So that could change. We're going to start with the side facing up being 1. That can also change. So this is our pattern for our objects. So these are our attributes. They describe the object, and these are our methods, our actions. So the way I have it written now, we can roll the dice. Now imagine that you have an import random statement above here because we would have to import that. So we have random.randint starting with 1 and then however many sides we have. So if it's a 6-sided dice like we are now, we could have any number from 1 to 6 being the side up. Then we have the action of, so here if we roll it, every time we roll it, it will do it with a new random number. Then we have the get side up function. This returns the variables so that we can access them and do things with them from outside. We haven't actually set these to private yet, but we should do that. To make them private, you use these double underscores in front of them. So you would put double underscores in front of those, and they would be private. These are public. So our actions tend to be public so that other programs can use the actions. We will typically have ways to set the variables and ways to get the variables or attributes, but we don't want other programs accessing those directly. We want to control how they're accessed and modified. So this is basically the way a class would work, and then we would have to create an instance of it to be able to use that object. So each object that we create in programming is an instance of a class. Sometimes it's referred to as instantiating an object to make a new instance of a class. So this is the basic idea of how classes are written. You need the class name, you need an initialization module to set the class variables, which should be private, and then you can have a bunch of public actions or methods, things that the new object can do that's built from the class.